live completely off. I'm trying to tell your friends, send to, trying to send it to Puffy. Move, little boy. Send.
Sebastian, get down.
All right, so he joined. Let me see if I can add him. What's going on with this? Okay, so he's on. Hold on. Sent a request. Hold on. He sent a request. Something going on here. Let's see. We waiting on Puffy Badass.
Hey.
Oh my God.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
What's going on? I can't believe you got it right.
Been waiting on you. What's going on?
Honey, I love the hair. I love it.
You know, I'm trying to give a little something, a little Vesta Williams, honey.
You've been giving something for the last 15, 20 years I've known you. You've always been giving, honey. Always.
Listen,
always.
What's been going on with you?
Honey, just working, trying to balance my life between work and just trying to do more than just work. I think over time, you get kind of stagnated. I mean, I started off young, being in the street, running the streets, having fun, doing my thing. Then you get to a point, you get kind of comfortable, you get into a routine, and then you find yourself trying to break that routine.
Yes.
So I'm kind of at that point, and here in Atlanta, it's just like, ugh. It's just the same old same.
So what you want to do? Like, what are some things you want to do?
Well, one thing I'm going to start doing is just going to just regular places. One thing I can say about Atlanta is you can meet people in the strangest, most unusual places, and you're not even trying to. So I find if I just start going out again and just having fun, if it's meant to be, oh, look at the baby.
He always do this. But listen, continue.
He's big. Yeah, just want to get out more and just do some things. I'm not going to get caught up on bills and things like that and use that as an excuse not to do this or not to do that. So, I mean, I do a lot of basic stuff, the mall, little kind of, movies. Now, I have done something new. I did join the High Museum of Art this year.
No, what's that?
The High Museum, it's art exhibits. High Museum of Art. It's there by the Alliance.
You being all cultured and stuff. Yes, God, come through culture.
Yes, I was going to get my pass for the Alliance again, but they're already in the middle of their season. So their season kind of starts around October, November. So I'll probably get my season pass from the end of the year to the new year around then. So I enjoy the High, but they started doing this redecorating and remodeling, and then they want you to go all across the city to just see a play. And I'm like, I ain't doing all that traveling. So now that they're centralized again, I'll get back into doing things like that. I love that type of stuff. The symphony. So, I'm gonna get into them as well.
So what were you telling me about what happened on Growing Up Hip Hop Tonight?
Okay, it's this character, this guy named Sam. He had the audacity to get up on stage with this weak-ass song, and he's going to say, I'm not straight, but I'm not gay. Now, mind you, this is his engagement party. And I'm like, why would you feel a need to do this at your engagement party? To me, his whole character, he's a narcissist, he's an opportunist, because that's some type of shit you could have kept to yourself. I would not have announced to a room full of people who don't know me, I don't know them, don't give a fuck about you, that this is who I am. It's just nobody's business. But his mentality is, I just want to come out and be clean and everybody knows that this is just my truth and I'm being honest. I'm like, fuck that. But then his truth was such bullshit. I'm like, I sat here and it takes a lot to shock me these days. Yes. I don't know what shocked me more. The fact that he had the audacity to say that bullshit and think that anybody was going to believe it. The fact that Tretch and Pep were actually co-signing this bullshit.
Bam.
I look at them like,
this is Egypt's fiance. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And I'm sitting there like, okay, if that's my child, my baby, I'm sorry, honey, I'm gonna pull you to the side. this nigga got to go, okay, because this is some bullshit. Then he's going to sit there and say, oh, I had sex with a transgender woman, and when I'm penetrating her, I found out she had a penis and testicles. I'm looking at him like...
Only then? You didn't see that old fat monkey in the front before?
I'm looking at him, and then, of course, he acknowledged that he had sex with the transgender woman more than once, because Egypt couldn't come up with... Because Egypt couldn't come up with a number, so everyone kept on grilling him. Was it more than once? How many times was it? Then he actually has the audacity to say that if he was not with Egypt, he'd be living his life, quote unquote, still having sex with transgender women. So I'm sitting here looking at this saying, wow.
So what you think? You think somebody had something on him and knew that with him, was threatening, like coming out with it, and he's trying to control the narrative by telling his own truth? Or you think it was something to add to his storyline to make sure he stays valuable as a character? I mean, because with everything that's going on with trans right now, it's a hot topic.
I think she claims that in the first week that they met, he told her everything and told her his truth, which I thought was kind of like, really? Okay, whatever. But then it's just the whole way of how they met. It's a mess. I'm just looking at this like, okay, if this was my daughter and I'm at this party and I'm listening to this shit, I'm sorry, that boy would have came up missing. Okay, he'd been in Chattahoochee somewhere. I mean, that's just crazy to me. I'm like, that makes no sense to me.
I haven't watched the latest show, but what I do know, it seems like he came out of nowhere. And all of a sudden, for the last 2 seasons, I mean, it's like they connected real quick. Like, she is Egypt. Honey, she's not without the opportunities of people or big pieces. So where he come from, how he just becomes so latched onto her, and she just so in love. I guess she could be impressionable because of the fact that she looks as if she's had a very sheltered life. You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I don't know. My mom's got mule. It's gonna make my fingers cold. Come on, Frederick. I don't know why. I don't drink nothing but my Moscow Mule cup since you bought some. Silent Bay is tripping. But
I'm like this. He must have he ate that box real good. He got a good pipe. He blew her mind. And now she's thinking, oh, he's being so honest. He's being so organic. He's being so real. I'm looking at her like she's just young.
Well, she's young. And if this is all the truth and he feels like he needs to come out, I need her to keep that same energy and love him regardless, because at least he is telling her and ain't had it like most of the DL dudes do. They'll hide it and won't say nothing to you, and you find out years down the road or something. So at least he living his truth before he gets married. All cards are on the table. It could be good strategy.
I mean, my thing is, let's hope she keeps that same energy when they have their little arguments and he runs up in the bed of the transgender woman or somebody else and everything else going on. It's not going to stop. Exactly. And if she's just young. She's young.
Ain't no Jenny Craig for friends. Ain't no Weight Watchers to control that appetite, boo-boo.
And I looked at all his friends tonight when they were walking to the club. I'm like, they all like a bunch of girls. I'm like, who are these queens he's walking with? And they're supposed to be his boys. I'm like, they're his boys, all right. Okay. They're a bunch of girls, honey. I said I didn't see a straight one in a bunch. If they were straight, honey,
what's up. We've been in this life a long time. You know exactly what's up. And these girls be playing. Somebody was putting the tail on that ass. That's what it was. One of them come out.
Exactly. Sooner or later. Because actually, no one, I mean, I kind of looked at him and he was suspect to me, but I'm like, come on.
Why are you looking at me like that?
It's the Lamone. It's the Bacardi.
I asked for a look. You know how it is when you send your shit back and they say don't ever send your shit back and they're going to do something to it. So I sent my drink back. Silent Bay made me another drink. Then he looked and he smiled and so I thought put some sweet, what was it, some Miss Avery, gave me some of that Miss Avery tea. We done spit in it.
Oh, yeah.
If you've been drinking vodka, I was just seeing how much...
You see Puffy over here in my face?
I see Puffy. What's up, Puffy, badass? How Puffy been?
Honey's doing as usual. Now that he's locked in the house, honey, he all in my face 24/7. But for 3 years, honey, he would eat, sleep, he would shit, eat, and run back out the door. I wouldn't see him for hours or days at a time. Now he's stuck in my face 24/7.
So why you keep him locked in the house now?
Well, one, because the first time he was locked in the house, he got into some fight with either a possum or another cat, cost me over close to $2,000.
Yep.
Because something bit him on his left back paw. It blew up like a damn balloon. They had to drain it, stitch it. I'm like, oh, your ass can't go back out. So I let it a few months went by. He snuck out again. I kind of let it go. But then he disappeared for 10 days.
Oh, yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah, I'm sitting here crying and going through all these changes. And as soon as I just kind of got used to the idea that he was just out there and I probably wouldn't see him again, this hysterical crying at the door woke everybody up. He out there running in the house all cold. Looked like he hadn't eaten in a little bit. I said, your ass got locked up somewhere. I don't know what the hell happened to you. So I said, you're stuck in the house now.
You know what? Cute. So that's the thing. That's the thing. So listen, have you been following, you know, I talk about my girl because I am a huge fan. Have you been following T.S. Madison's threads, lives, and little car chats?
T.S. Madison's situation is getting so messy and confusing. I don't know who to believe. I'm not sure if I really care that much. I mean, I'm sorry. She had a sit down with Storm, somebody.
Storm and Tasha K. Yeah.
Tasha K.
Tasha K. Yeah.
I don't have a problem with T.S. Madison at all, but she's just got a lot going on around her.
But you know what though? She does. But you know what? I think that's just the way it is. Like when you grow, you know how people do. Now I'm a huge fan of T.S. Madison, so you know I'm finna Maddie Mob it out. You understand what I'm saying? I just feel like there comes a moment in everyone's career to where there's a shift, and everybody, hell, even all my friends know we are all growing. And all of our friends, all of my friends, hell, including you, you know that when you grow, a lot of people can't grow with you.
That's true.
And it becomes a point where people either move themselves or they have to be moved, right? But I think I feel like, you know, sure, she's been very honest about what she's done in the past. She's been very transparent. You know, sure, ain't nobody gonna let you know all their business. They ain't got to. They don't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like she's also elevating. And you know, with elevation, people will try to hold your ass back. You know, and she's in a transition period to where, you know, it's hard to be your authentic self, right? And then move up. Look, sir, it's hard to be your authentic self and then move up. While moving up, knowing how powerful your words are. You know what I'm saying? And so the one thing, reason why I'm not want to talk about like all of her other stuff, but that's her business. But recently she had gotten on and she was talking about how a lot of people have been giving her flack for using the word fish.
Yeah, I was looking at that today, actually.
Now,
and I was like, really?
You know, in our culture, girl,
thank you.
It's just a term that we've never said bitch. We've always said, bitch, that bitch is giving pussy. Oh, she's giving me pussy. You know what I'm saying? And that's like a compliment, you know? Because in the trans community or the gay community, the drag community, bitch, when we say you giving pussy, bitch, we feel like you are ultimate woman. You are unclockable. It is a compliment. It is a compliment and ode to women. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So it's just funny because of a lot of the gay lingo and culture. Some people are offensive with it. I have a lot of female friends, so I get it. You know, and my friends, I'll be like, what's up, bitch? I don't do that. I just don't. You know, so she's been talking about that, but more importantly, she's been talking about how, listen, I gotta still be able to be authentically me because that's exactly what's gotten her where she is today. You know,
she was saying how one person took advantage of her saying that and made it into some big old drama.
Well, I agree with T.S. Madison, and I feel like that person did that just to ride off her name and to get more views. I really do. I don't think it was that big of a deal. You know what I'm saying? Because the reason why I don't think it was that big of a deal because the same people that I would have personally ran into, they'd be like, "Ooh, don't call me fish, don't call me fish," but you'll call each other bitch and you call each other niggas. But then when somebody else outside of it call you bitch and niggas, you got a problem with it. So it's the same level of context. You know what I'm saying? And I'm always respectful. So if you don't want to be called, I have people around me like, don't call me bitch because I don't like that. Even if it's like, oh my God, bitch, what's up, bitch? Like, I love you. Don't call me bitch. I have to respect that, right? But I feel like this particular person, I saw what she said, honey. Madison wasn't talking about you or to you. She was talking to her friend. And I just feel like now she's growing. Like this year is going to be like massive for her. So everything that she does is going to be under a watchful eye. She's going to have that whole microscope. She got to read that fine print, bitch, because everything is going to be under scrutiny.
They have the internet is just blowing up. People are they have all these internet shows, these internet programs, the G Status, the Come Up New York. I mean,
what's the G Status?
The G Status, it's just basically all these gay men and women, trying to, basically live their lives basically in front of the camera, in front of the internet, on the internet.
Girl,
and you should pull it up sometime. G Status first season was very interesting. These young men, one of them, it was a very interesting storyline. One of them was a porn star, and he was trying to transition between when he was doing porn and trying to model and trying to do this. It was very interesting. You have all these different little programs all over the internet, from G Status to Chasing Dallas, Chasing Atlanta, just all these shows, and it's definitely entertaining now. People get on the internet. It's kind of like looking at a downgrade reality series. It's not on television, it's on the internet. But it's very interesting. Bad Boys.
I kind of like that. I like that because it's not as much censorship. It's real. I mean, of course, people are going to do stuff to get their viewers up. I get it. But I like it because to me, it's a little more authentic and it's real shit. Especially, and the gay culture is just hot. People can say what they want to say about it. They can talk about it. They can degrade it. They can do whatever they want to do. But them hoes is secretly, they watching. It's very entertaining. It's like watching Love and Hip Hop. All of that ratchet shit.
Exactly.
The housewives of, you watching these people with a whole bunch of money, living and acting pretty much like regular people as far as triflingness is. They just got a little more corn behind it.
Exactly. Now, to switch gears real quick. Now, I was watching Housewives of Atlanta. And I'm amazed how Kenya has really just put her voice, behind her. I mean, she's literally she has this mentality where she has to let her man be a man in her mind, but he is the most nastiest, trifling, disrespectful. Yes. He is trifling.
I don't feel that. I don't feel that he's disrespectful. I feel like, here's what I think, and I don't know their business, but this is just my opinion. Let's be clear, my opinion. From what I see and how he's moving, and then from what I've noticed from just watching people in relationships, period, I feel like he's seeing a whole other side of her that he hadn't seen before. I think the Kenya that he's seeing on the show and the shit that she's doing is different from the Kenya that she has displayed to him. And he's not for the mess. He's not for the mess. I believe when she knew him, she knew he was a very masculine, very head of the house type dude, looking for a traditional wife that who's going to make sure she partners with him and let him be the leader in the situation. And I believe she knew that. But she wanted love, and she wanted this to work, and a family. I mean, who doesn't want that? She wanted it so bad that she was okay with it. But from an outside looking in, that's not the Kenya that she's displayed to the world. And I'm okay with you protecting your vulnerability. But he wasn't with that shit. And so when the cameras came on and he started saying all this other shit, playing people against people, he inviting people to shit. He's like, let them all come in. This is for the event. Let's be inclusive, all the other stuff. And she's acting like she's inclusive, but he's finding out she's doing this other little shiesty shit. He's like, I don't want all that. You knew I didn't want all that. Stop it. You doing all this shit. I gotta go. I gotta bounce. And she knew that.
I'm looking at it from the first season. He made an appearance and just the things now, mind you, again, we're not there. There's two sides to a story. But from when I observe him, I just see somebody who's he has no respect. To me, he has no respect for women. He's never had a consistent relationship. He's cheated on her pretty much.
All that.
I know, just from what I've heard and what I've observed from the show and, blogs and things like that, from what they're saying, he's never had a real consistent relationship. And to me, he has no real respect for women. He doesn't put her as first as his wife. He treats her like I'm going to be blunt, some bitch on the street. I mean, when he's around her, I mean, he's just very downgrading to her. He's disrespectful to her. He's not.
Yeah.
He doesn't present himself like the way Cynthia and her man are.
Yep.
He loves
I've
her.
seen that.
He
I've
adores
seen
her,
it.
and he
I've seen
shows
that.
it. He's so generic. Literally, he's just generic. He doesn't
I
show
just
any
feel like
love,
he's one of those,
any
but
affection.
I feel like he's one of those people that, one, is not comfortable with the camera being around like that. You know what I'm saying? And I think off camera they have an understanding. And I think he bit off a little bit more than he could chew, honestly. You know?
And I don't think he's not an affectionate person. I think he was just raised
I don't
differently.
think he is, but you also have two bosses. They're two bosses. You can't put two bosses together like that.
They're two alphas. Two alphas that ain't going to work.
She's an alpha.
Exactly, and I think she's kind of being the alpha, the omega. She's trying to kind of put herself second, and it's not working. It doesn't look right.
She's trying, and I'll give her an A for that. I really will. Oh, yeah. But I just feel like that's just not the space that you in, Kenya. I understand that's what you want to do, but you are a boss female, and on top of you being a boss person, you can't get with another boss unless y'all have a level of understanding. And she also, I mean, if you watch the show, like when he was putting things together, like she does this, and so she has like a level of order to how she do things because she's done it. He's more like chaotic. Let's just, do it this way. And she's like, well, no, let's make sure A, B, C, D, and E is done. He's not like that, or he doesn't want her to be a part of running it like that, so they clash. But I will give her A for trying to sit in that role as the wife and be supportive. But it seems to me she's only that person when it comes to him. And as soon as she walks away from that situation, she's Kenya. She's got to be authentically herself. And that's somebody who's going to start shit. You can't fuck with her. And she going to fuck with you, and she going to secure her bag. And everything that Nene says, everything that Nene has said, I believe it. I really do believe it.
Nene needs to sit her ass down and worry about her own damn life. Because
but why do you say that though?
I can't stand Nene's fake trifling ass. First of all, I'm gonna say some things people may not like. Nene is homophobic.
You think Nene is homophobic?
Absolutely, 100%. I think she looks at gay people as a joke. She looks at gay people as something to amuse her. I don't think she's genuine with it at all. I don't care how many gay men do her hair. I don't care how many gay men are around her. I think she's fake. I think she's one of these black women who goes along to get along, but I do not believe in my heart that she's authentically understanding of any of gay men. I just don't. I've watched her through the beginning of the series up until now, and she's just displayed too much, to me, homophobic tendencies in terms of how she's conducted herself. Yeah. I felt like that. I see it. I'll say it to her face, and I can give her specific instances when she's done that shit. And I look at her. I give her a side eye between her and Marlo's fake trifling ass. I'm like, ugh.
Well,
I can't do them.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think Nene is very headstrong. I think she's one of those people when y'all friends. I think there's an understanding. And I think she's just at a point where she don't like that fake shit. You know what I'm saying? I just think that's where she's at. But I also feel like, I do agree when she said in an interview that she had done recently, I think it was on the Breakfast Club, she said, I'm Nene Leakes. I've been on the show the longest, and people know it's good TV to have beef with me, even for no reason. And I believe that because she is the only one on that show that has been there from day one. And it is good TV. And people love Nene. They love the fact that Nene has been the clapback queen. She will set your ass straight. She has always been vocal. She will attempt to be civil within reason. However, if you come into her space of peace, she ain't fucking with that either. She will shut down and be like, fuck you, and go on about her business. And I can respect that. I just don't feel like she's fake, though. I don't feel like that. I think she's genuine. And I think she loves the gays. I really do.
I think she loves the gays when it's convenient for her. I'm sorry. She's just done too much.
To be honest with you, though, that's most people and most females, honestly.
True.
Exactly. When your gay best friend, when your friend is your stylist and your hairstyle and your makeup artist, bitch, they your best friend because them hoes is beating you to the gods and your ass, and they give you goddamn all that fabulosity that you cannot do on your own. Let's just be real. And I think a lot of time that we take our talent and the fact that they love us for that talent and they pay us for that talent, I think we sometimes blur the lines of friendship. It's business. I really don't give a damn if you support what I do in the community or not. As long as you support that check, when you come and have me do a service and you pay me the full amount, I'm good. You can think because it's business now. You can think what you want to think. You just can't stop my bag. And what I do know is you can't lay that lace like I lay that lace on you. So you still need me. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of people misconstrue that professional life with support, especially the LGBTQ community today. And I call them I call us the alphabet community because it's so many alphabets that's being added to it on a daily basis. And I'm 43 years old and I can't keep up with all that shit. I just want to respect people and love them for where they are and where they sit. I want to meet them right there. However, I feel like right now, everybody expects business to be some level of friendship. Fuck all that. Fuck all that friendship shit. It's work. It's business. And with the celebrities, it's about if you hot right now, what you can give them right then. You know, they're always at different places, doing different things, on different sets, and you can't always be there. And when you think there's loyalty, there's no loyalty, baby. There's no loyalty. If you're the hottest stylist, they fucking with you. When you fall off, they not fucking with you.
Exactly.
So, you know what I'm saying?
People just gotta learn how to just be themselves and just have your own identity. It's just not that serious.
And I feel like right now, the space that we live in today is a little more accepting of the alphabet community than it's ever been. I really believe that. But I think that there's still this need that everybody just feels like, oh my God, you got to love me. No, you don't have to love me, boo-boo. And then honestly, I love my family. I love my community. However, every time you turn around, though, you trying to snap your fingers and read somebody all the goddamn time. Don't nobody want to fuck with you. I wouldn't want to fuck with you trying to read me all the goddamn time. Man, fuck that shit. Let's have a conversation and quit trying to be the baddest bitch who reads all the time. Honey, if you can't meet me in the level, the tax bracket that I'm in, I don't care how good of a read you are, bitch. Get your coins up. Get your education up. Okay? Fuck a read. It ain't making you no money. Read that motherfucking paycheck.
I think the people today have a more understanding and acceptance for the most part of gay people in general, but the transgender community, particularly the trans women and trans men, are catching hell. I mean, trans women are being murdered across the country, and no one is talking about it. And we as a community, people have got to stop putting themselves in categories. Black Lives Matter. I get that. But if you can't stand up for all of the atrocities that are going on around you, that's the problem. Yeah, people are just
Black Lives Matter until you are LGBTQRSTUV. Then it don't matter. Because within the black community, they don't give a fuck about you now because it's not something that they identify with, so it doesn't matter.
So basically,
until it's their own child. Until their child comes home and identifies as gay, then they want to turn into P-Flag, okay? And they want everybody to just, honey, it didn't matter before your baby came home being gay. You didn't give a fuck what happened to us. But now your child is part of the community. Now you just care. Girl, sit down. Have several seats outside the door.
But look at the white gay community. All these trans women of color are being murdered. I don't see no outrage from the white gay community, but let it be a white gay man or a white trans woman. Oh, they want to be protesting. Everybody's got to stop being so separate. If you're not going to protest for everybody, then just sit down somewhere because this is crazy. My mentality is like this.
So what I will say about that, because all of the non-African American people that I have in my life are very supportive. And if something was to happen to me, them bitches will fuck you up trying to find me. That's where I'm blessed. However, what I can say holistically outside of my own personal experience, what I can say, how is that any different from a black child missing versus a Caucasian child missing? Ain't that many Amber Alerts going out? I mean, so as it fits in that space, what I can say in that space is consistent. It's not my own personal experience, but I look at the whole picture. It's consistent. It's consistent between non-Caucasian and, Caucasian. There is, and I don't know if it's because it's Caucasian or the Caucasian community just comes together a lot better with the people that they have in positions of influence. I don't know. I can't say that. But what I can say, though, is that that's not any different whether it's trans or non-trans when it comes to black. But what I can say about the black community will be out there looking for that little, young black child that's missing. But let that be a black trans woman that's missing. Bitch, I'm not fucking with this. I gotta watch Love and Hip Hop. I gotta watch Housewives of Atlanta. Unless it's their own child, they don't give a fuck.
Exactly.
But as soon as you want your head snatched and your face snatched, you tuning over there with your income tax check, bitch, trying to give us that money. That's where it gets confusing to a lot of girls, and they can't take that shit today. That's why I say charge them hoes for your skill and walk on about your business. Quit trying to make friends with hoes who fake support you.
Well, my thing is this, is that the biggest enemy to trans, and I'm going to say trans women, period, but particularly I'm going to say black trans women, are black gay men. Because my thing is, I see more disrespect from black gay men to the trans community. I mean, I see girls who I know on the street. I stop, I hug them, I kiss them. Oh, I haven't seen you in ages. People are staring. I don't give a fuck. I'm comfortable in my own skin. But my thing is, you can see these girls on the street and you walk past them like you don't even see them. But you want to be up there tipping and, oh, hey, girl, how you doing in the club in the gay atmosphere where no one can see you? My thing is, if you can't be genuine to me when you see me on the street at 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning or in the afternoon with all the boys on the street, don't talk to me at all. And that's why the girls here who I knew back in the day loved me, because I never changed. I mean, I had girlfriends who were uncomfortable, and I would look like, what's wrong? Oh, well, all those people outside the station. I said, girl, you are who you are, living your life. Fuck those people. You bring more attention to yourself. Because a lot of girls are just insecure of themselves. And I said, girl, if this is who you are and this is how you're going to live your life, you have to deal with people, period. You bring more attention to yourself being uncomfortable.
Yes, this is true.
Through your body language, or your energy, than just going about your business and keeping it pushing. I think so. To speak on that, let's expound upon that, because I think that's been a difference between me and a whole bunch of other people. Makeup on, 10 o'clock shadow, bitch, whatever. I've always been confident, and I think a lot of people will gravitate towards those who are confident versus those who aren't, because there is a vibe, an air about you when you're not confident, and it just pulls in people who then automatically, even people who are good to other people, they will want to automatically attack you just because of that vibe that you give it. And then you crumble. It's a sign of weakness, right? Exactly.
So a lot of people don't understand you can be a brick, okay? Troll, whatever they want to call it. But when your ass is confident in whatever you do, people automatically gravitate to you. You know what I'm saying? Point blank.
Exactly. But this younger generation, though, now, they are of a different cloth. They're cut from a totally different cloth than we are. This younger generation tend to be a lot more disrespectful, a lot more hateful, a lot more in-your-face bullshit. I've observed it catching a train, and I just look at myself, wow. My generation,
so when you say disrespectful, what you mean? Like what?
Just general. They have no respect for the older generation, the way they conduct themselves through their conversations, the way it's just they're not being raised. It's kind of like this generation was raised by children. So it's like you're getting children raising children, raising children, raising children, and they just have no guidance. It's a mess. I mean, I'm so happy I don't have to catch the train often anymore, because when I catch the train, with these young people getting on the train, it's a mess. Now, don't get me wrong. Peer pressure now is very different from when we were coming up. Because when I catch these kids by themselves, because when I catch these kids by themselves, they're wonderful. Even the young men, they're very thoughtful, thinking about their lives. But when they get around their friends, you got to fit in. You got to be a part of the group. And they get into that group dynamic, and it all changes.
And then you have social media. So I can't say that the kids are any different from when we were kids, right, with that whole same peer pressure. It's just you have social media. So when you do some shit at your school back in our day, with brick phones, brick cell phones, and no internet. Okay, honey, you can do what you want to do at your school, and won't nobody fucking know what the other school was going on. There was no big, huge social media presence that people across the country or across schools would know what the hell is going on. I mean, you would call somebody and say, "Oh, girl, guess what happened? So and so, so and so," but it wasn't blasted. It was nothing was going viral, so it's a little different, right? But what I can say about what I will say, about the youth today, and what I do like, so it's that catch-22 with them being all in your face, right? But I think that's what needs to happen. We were more, I'm going to say, reserved, and I will also say more in fear of pushing the envelope too much, because we knew how that could affect, our livelihood. It was a different time. So what I will say is they are fearless today. And I love that. I love that about them, because I feel like that's also allowing us to grow as a culture. I just wish we had that level of fearlessness and then unity at the same time. Because if we were more in unity and quit creating all these levels of separation within the community, we could be powerful.
Of course. But then that goes back to the slave mentality. People don't understand that there's a psychology behind all this.
That crab in a barrel.
When you're perpetuated from centuries of you're nothing, you're this, you're that, and you perpetuate that from generation to generation to generation, that's how, and I'm not saying it's an excuse, but there's a mindset to this low self-esteem, to young people I talk to who tell me, oh, I'm surprised I've lived this long. And they're like 19, 20, 21 years old. To have someone that young say that to you, it blows me away. So there's just something.
It don't blow me away, because I didn't think at that age, I didn't think that I would live past 25. Hell, and I'm a 70s model. I'm a 76 model. So I thought 25, girl, I remember thinking, girl, 25, girl, please, I ain't gonna live past it, because I thought it was so old. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm sitting here at 43, and I'm like, bitch, you thought you weren't going to live past 25. Your life was only beginning. You know what I'm saying? And I think now with everything that's going on right now, and the social media and presence, and then I feel like people are more in tune with their feelings today. You know what I'm saying? Suicide rate is higher. So it's like it's higher than it's ever been. We're in a space to where people are more accepting than they've ever been. So I don't always understand that ratio of suicide being higher when the world is more accepting than they've ever been. But I think social media play a lot of a big, huge presence in the fact of people committing suicide today, because now everybody, if a video goes viral, millions of people see that shit, and a child or someone who's not prepared for that. You have celebrities that's not prepared for all of the backlash and the attention they get as a celebrity. So imagine a 15, 16, 17, 20-year-old whose video has gone viral with somebody either picking on them, whatever the case may be. How do you expect them to handle that when they don't have a team of PR people helping them through it?
And that's why people got to be very careful with social media. But also, there's a lot of mental illness in the world, particularly with the Black community, that we don't address, because with Black people, what's what they say? Honey, just go to church, honey, pray on it. God's going to take care of it.
And pray about it.
No, guess what?
Have God pray. Girl, please. You can't do that.
Some people actually have chemical imbalances in their bodies, which makes them depressed, which gives them these different types of illnesses. And we got to start addressing mental illness for what it is, and stop thinking that you can just pray to God and it's going to go away. No, someone you got to talk to somebody. You got to really just understand what's going on.
One of the scriptures that I always come back to, first of all, faith without work is dead. So you got to do some work. You got to do some work.
Thank you.
You have to be aware that there's a challenge there. You have to be aware that you have to get the help that you need mentally. And in the Black community, mentally, going and talk to someone who wasn't the minister or a religious leader in your family was frowned upon. So people are struggling every day with just getting up and showing up and being present because of all the shit they've had to repress, they've not been able to talk about, they've prayed about, but don't really have any guidance on how to maneuver, and they're suffering from it, And then you have, and then as people of the the American community, we've always had to show up and be present and be strong. You know, I was telling somebody on social media the other day, check on your strong friends, okay? Because they too need support. They being there for everybody else. We also need that same level of support. Your leaders need to be checked in on because they also need that level of support, right? And I believe in behavioral health. I believe in getting what you need mentally to survive, because you can't be there for somebody else if you can't get your own shit together. And I don't think there's anything wrong with having, you know, going through therapy, talking that shit through. Sometimes talking it through and through somebody from a third party perspective can help you work through your own shit.
Exactly. I agree. And if not a therapist, you and I used to do that. We've been doing that for years. You'll talk to me about something, and I'll sit there and listen. You're like, Mark, well, what do you think? You're bringing somebody into the situation who's not a part of the situation, who can give you an objective opinion. And I'm so happy. I think about it now. I'm so happy my mother did not raise me in church, because I had the ability to really be objective without getting caught up in religious dogma. You know, I can just kind of look at the situation for what it is. And a lot of people who are raised in church are so stuck. I mean, if I have one more person say to me, well, God loves the loves the sinner, but not the sin. I say, you know what? What God loves is people, period. And he doesn't, and this mentality of the sin. Look, the Bible is a book of parables, of fables, but I've never believed that the Bible was meant to be taken into its literal interpretation to where I don't
think so either. I feel like there's a if you think about current day, here's what I know about people. People have not changed. I don't care the centuries. I don't care what it is. People have not changed. We will spin things into our own narrative to create a culture that we want, right? I believe there's some level of truth to it, but you can't say on one side how God loves you for who you are. Come as you are. Okay, but then there's all these other levels of judgment. I think that's when people and man interject themselves in it, because you got one spin where you come about love your neighbor and love the sinner, but then you got this other part where you want to condemn and throw stones and all this other stuff. And you know, I was raised in the church. I've got, on my dad's side, I had bishop and evangelist, which were my grandparents. Father, deeply in the industry, the gospel industry today. On my mother's side, her mother was a minister. My step-granddaddy sang gospel. Like, so, you know, growing up, it was all at me. So I had a lot of challenges. People in school didn't understand the shit that I was going through. I see you, Antonio Hands. I see you, Anointed Hands. We went to school together. And you know what I'm saying? So people didn't see the struggles that I fucking had in school, both personally and then from a religious perspective, where your grandmother is having you traveling with her, singing in the choir, using your vocal abilities. But then as soon as you're on your way to church or back home, she's telling you how you're going to hell and you're an abomination. Girl, which one is it? Which one is it? And you talk about somebody in 6th grade. Which one is it, girl? Because you showing up using these vocal abilities, baby, with my hellish ass. So for me to work through that, it took a whole bunch of shit to get to the point where I can be okay with who I am today, right? Because you had a child who didn't understand why they were extremely feminine, why they felt like a female. They were walking, moving, acting, and it wasn't a choice for me. I didn't wake up and say, this is what I want. Actually, I fought against it for a very long time, and it caused a whole lot of mental issues for me, period.
I understand.
So I had to get to the point where I could love myself, and you say God didn't make no mistake. You are who you are. He made you. Okay, well, if he made me who I am, and I am, then the next sentence you say is that that's the spirit of homosexuality, and that's of the devil. Well, honey, who got more power, the devil or God? Which one is it? Because I'm confused.
Thank you. And what kills me, and like I said, I'm not a religious person, so if I mess up some scripture and everything, you're gonna have to forgive me. But between the Old Testament and the New Testament, and if I remember this correctly from the few times I've been in the church, the homosexuality does not come into play into the New Testament.
First of all, homosexuality has been around forever. Yeah, you got dogs. You got
But that's my whole
dogs,
point.
male dogs and male dogs hunching on each other. Male cats and male cats and female cats. It's all throughout the species. So when I see shit like that, that lets me know it's part of nature. We may not understand it and people may not like it. Okay, that's fine. I wouldn't want my niece to come to me and tell me, oh my God, TT, you know, I'm a lesbian, you know, I'm of the LGBTQ community. And it's not because I feel a way about our community. I just know how hard it is how hard it is in life, period.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hard life, and it's not the favorited path to take.
But I do believe it's easier, to me, it's easier on females in terms of being gay, because from a narcissistic male society.
Yep. They like that shit.
Exactly. Oh, it's sexy. Well, you're still a woman. I can I
watch?
You. Blah,
no,
blah, blah.
You can't watch. They don't want you looking at them. They don't even want your little pedagogy in the experience. No, sit down. You have several feet outside the door, too.
A true lesbian gay woman, because I've had guys say to me, I've slept with gay women. I said, no, you slept with a bisexual woman. You never slept with you never slept with an actual lesbian, because she wouldn't have you. That was a bisexual woman / confused female you slept with. But no, she wasn't a lesbian, sweetie. If she was a lesbian, she would have told you to go about your business, and she got a bigger strap on than you. See,
right.
Keep it moving.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
I just feel I feel so sad though for these men or women who feel like they have to hide. I mean, it's a lot of energy to be yourself. So I can't imagine how much energy you have to expend to just live a lie every single day. It has to be absolutely exhausting.
Depending on your audience and depending on where you are in life, for some people, living that lie is a whole lot easier than living in their truth.
And the Black community.
For me, living a lie is harder, but I think that's based off of the person, and it's what's your deal breaker. You know what I'm saying? And having someone not look at you side eye for some people is more important to them than you just being truthful and living in your truth. What I can say for some people who have lived a lie. When they are able to live in their truth, it's only then they realize how more fulfilling life is, because you don't have to do that.
Exactly. But my thing is, too,
a lot of time.
People you can't have your cake and eat it too. On one hand, the women and people complain, oh, these down low men and all this and all that. But then when someone is honest and living in their truth, you have a criticism about it. Make up your mind. Either you're going to accept them for who they are and be happy about it, or just be an ass and just deal with some down low Negro that's going to date your sister, date your daughter, date your cousin, and just live this lie. But you can't have it two ways now.
But this is my thing, though. But this is my thing. So this is where I've always, you know me, I have always kind of taken up for the DL men, because I see how they're being treated. So, for instance, just like we just had that discussion about Egypt's fiance, even though I feel like, why are you saying something now, your third season into the show, when you've been liking the trans woman, honey? It must be something driving that, right? Because when you get on TV and the girls see you on TV, oh, baby, they'll try to call your ass completely out, okay? Just like old girl did in Indiana when she rolled up on her two friends, honey, who was having a little he was having
soiree,
little soiree, and she got on live talking about some, oh my God, and they doing this to each other, and I told him he had to pay me $5,000 in the hour, like that type of shit. This is why motherfuckers don't come out. This is why they keep that shit to themselves, because that level, excuse me, God rest her soul, but that level of ignorance, because that wasn't your story to tell. He wasn't your man. Okay? He wasn't your husband. That wasn't your story to tell. That was his business. And like he told her, I don't owe you shit. And he don't. He don't owe you shit. So this is why people say when you have sex with people, you make sure you try to protect yourself as much as possible, because people are not going to they're not going to tell you all their business. So you have to understand the risk, gay, straight, whatever the case may be, that they have a sexual past that you may not know about. It may not be men. It could be animals. It could be anybody. You don't know nobody 100%. You know what I'm saying? And people got to know that. And when you start, extorting people and blackmailing people and talking about what you're going to tell and all this other stuff, you just have to understand the risks. Now, when I say this, I don't say that I didn't say that she deserved what she got.
Of course,
I'm not saying that.
Not.
So don't twist my words, because people will see this shit and they'll twist my words because that's how they feel. But you know right from wrong. You know some shit you do is gonna put you in a situation where you're gonna be you are more capable of being in a fucked up position than if you just shut your damn mouth and mind your damn business. The same thing you do at work. Do I say this in work, or do I be professional, keep it to myself so I can have another day to get this check and make this money and live my life? It's the same thing. When you threaten people, you back somebody in a corner, you do not know how they're gonna fight themselves up that corner. My grandmother told me a long time ago, be careful of the fires that you start, because you cannot control how them hoes burn.
Exactly. And to kind of keep the same topic going but slightly different, Love and Hip Hop Miami has a character off and on named Saucy Santana.
I love Saucy.
Yes. Now, Saucy, as you know, got shot leaving the club one night. Yeah. And another character on the show was saying how her commentary bothered me on a few levels, because she was saying
the stripper Saucy, that was in the club that night.
So yeah, Saucy was he pulled down his pants and showing his G-string and blah 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 blah. Here's my thing. She said, well, he was just doing too much and blah blah blah. Here's my thing. In an ideal world, he should be able to do whatever the hell he wants to do with no type of consequence. She said, oh, he was cursing out the security and they're telling this, but at the same time. And I tell this to anybody, especially the younger gays who I come across, you have to understand your audience. If you're in a straight establishment in the hood, and you come out being flamboyant and bold and comfortable in yourself, understand that you're surrounded by a whole bunch of niggas who are not comfortable in themselves. And but I think that's what she was trying to say.
I think that's what she was trying to say. But she also said something about the fact that management had made a statement about, you know what, when the gay boys come in here, like, don't fuck with them, leave them alone. Because I feel like this is where I contribute and I congratulate the younger queens. Because them hoes ain't playing. They ain't playing.
Nope.
And, you know, back in the day, they used to think that because you was gay, you was a punk. Well, I think that we've proven today that we not, even though I don't understand how they thought that then, because back in the day, bitch, they was like, a queen will pull a razor out on your ass in a second. So we ain't never been nothing to fuck with, right? We ain't never been nothing to fuck. Razor blades in your cheek and everything. Remember them days back in the day in the clubs?
So, I remember.
But here's what I do feel. I do feel, and this is my personal opinion, and I think this with anybody, gay, straight, or whatever, when there is a minority that is now becoming more of a protected class, which I think we need to be because we've been abused for so many years, I think you will have some people that will test the limits, which basically means shit that you can't do if you were straight or whatever, you can't do just because you gay either. So I think what she was trying to say, because I wasn't there, I don't know. What she was trying to say, the most was being done, that if someone was from a heterosexual experience, a biological woman, etc., they wouldn't be able to get away with those same things, talking to the security that way. Once again, before everybody come at me, I wasn't there. But that's what she's trying to say. They wouldn't be able to get away with it. So you have to be aware of your actions as well, right?
Exactly.
I like Saucy. I like the music.
Saucy too.
I like the music. I like what he represents. I love it. You know what I'm saying? But I do feel like we still got to understand. This is where the younger queens don't understand that line that you can't always cross. You still got to have a level of decorum.
Exactly. Conduct yourself like a respectable human being. I mean, just because you can punk out and you don't have to do it. It's not always necessary. I mean,
you don't
these
have
girls
to.
Here in Atlanta, child.
You don't have to.
These
Pull that
boys are
out when you
Linux.
need to, because trust and believe there will be an opportunity for
Exactly.
you to, because
You just,
somebody's going to test you, especially in
oh
the
yeah.
world we live in right now with Agent Orange, honey. Somebody is going to test you. You have that opportunity to let them know, don't fuck with me, and don't let the
Mm-hmm.
smooth taste, the smooth skin, or this motherfucking perfect ass makeup fucking fool you.
Mm-hmm.
What did I used to say back in the day?
Mm-hmm.
Mark, don't let this perm fool you, bitch. Don't let this sticky hell
Mm-hmm.
get you confused.
Now, the first thing that comes to my mind is when you, Anthony, God rest his soul, and we were in the mall. Those
Oh,
boys
God.
started talking about you and Anthony. You two turned around and hear their friends. Oh, here they come! Here they come! And you're like,
Blow that
"What you
bitch
say to that boy?"
out.
You said, "Why your hair look like a plug?" Something you said to that boy. You
Bitch,
and
I
Anthony
wore
just,
his ass out in the
yes, you
club.
did. Yes,
I
you
mean,
did.
in the mall. It
In the
was
mall.
Lenox
In the mall.
Mall. We
Yeah.
wore
Yep.
his ass out. Yes, we did. And he wished he didn't
Mm-hmm.
say shit to us. My thing was,
Mm-hmm.
don't fuck with us because we not fucking with you. Okay? But
Exactly.
if you gonna start this fight, bitch, I'm gonna finish it.
And you're
And we
and I
let
always
that
tell
bitch have it.
Yep, and I tell people all the time, it's the ones that have something to say are the ones who have something to hide.
It's
Because
that
if you're
hit dog
secure,
hollering.
exactly. Because my thing is, if you're secure in your manhood, it doesn't bother you on what
Yeah.
another person does. Someone walking past you, minding their business. It's not like someone walked up to you and grabbed your ass or grabbed your dick. They're just
And
walking
we were
by,
doing
minding their
that.
business.
We were
Exactly,
Mark. We were minding our own
exactly.
business. We
I
done went to
remember.
Louis. We done
Yes.
went to Neiman's. We done up and out of
Mm-hmm.
everybody that was in his squad. It was like 4 or 5 of them. He was the only one that had to say something. And my thing was, we learned a long time ago. When everybody else ain't saying something, but you say something, that's that one that's interested. That's that same person that will be in your DMs later talking about some, you know
Thank you.
what? I apologize for how I was acting. I was just blah, blah, this.
Mm-hmm.
What you up to?
Mm-hmm.
What you doing? So we was like, bitch, you got the Pampers for our baby. What's going on, boo
Mm-hmm.
boo? You wasn't saying that
Thank
shit
you.
last night. We called his
Mm.
ass out, and his friends clowned on him in front of him. They didn't have his back.
Thank you. I remember. I was laughing
Girl,
my ass off. I thought it was hilarious. But
People
it
see,
just
but
kills me.
people don't know that person today because I've grown
Exactly.
so much. I had nothing to lose back then.
You so silly. Woo! Child. Mm-mm-mm.
I didn't have assets back then.
Well, honey, the person you are now, I mean, it's just a natural progression. I'm not surprised at all, honey. I'm not
I
surprised at
remember
all.
y'all told me a long time ago. I remember when I came to Atlanta, probably the first or second, third time, and what was her name? Um, your friend,
Rob, Robert,
Miss Robin.
Robin,
She was
Robin,
like,
Robin.
bitch. She said, bitch, you a woman. Go on. I said, girl, no. No, bitch, you a full woman. She knew, and she said
Mm-hmm.
that shit then. I was like, no, girl, I mean, this is something I do. Blah, blah, blah. She's like, no, ma'am. The next time I see you, you're going to be a full-ass woman. Full-ass woman. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
well, she just put that prophetic word out there, honey. She knew. But being now an older girl,
Mm-hmm.
and I see what she was saying. It's just because when you naturally who you are, you just
Mm-hmm.
naturally who you are. And one thing I say about you, Mark, is that you have always been somebody that has always accepted and loved people for who they are and met them where they were at that time. And I think that was so different because you remember when I was young when I met you. Hell, I was barely 18 when I
Mm-hmm. I
met you,
remember.
and it
Mm-hmm.
was like I gravitated to you outside of the circle of what everybody else was gravitating to at that time. Everyone
Mm-hmm.
loved Nicole, and I love Nicole too, but everybody was gravitating there. I remember you came home one night from working. I think you were probably a CNA then,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, "Who is that?" And we just started
Mm-hmm.
talking, and I was like, "I like him." Your head on your shoulders was just different, and we just, clicked right then, and just
Mm-hmm.
never strayed, because
Exactly.
I always liked
Exactly.
real people, and you've always been real, 100%,
And I tell people all the
100%.
time, I don't know everything. Please teach me, educate me, straighten me out if you see something. I mean, that's just I think as a true friend, you have to be willing to let your friend know, you know what? You're fucking up. You know what? You gotta change A, B, C, or D, you gotta do this, that. I mean, please tell me.